The Katsonis, the all-new Tier 8 Pan-Asian Tech Tree Destroyer, has finally made its way to World of Warships Legend. One that has a bit of a quirky gun layout, but is incredibly powerful and is quickly becoming one of my favorite Tech Tree Tier 8 destroyers. Today, we're going to go over review, show off our loadout, our build, our commander, and show off a great game in it. So if you like things like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's dive on in. And first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at those modules. First off, we have aiming system mod 1. Then we are running steering gears. Once again, weirdly, no prop mod available here. I guess maybe, is that just a destroyer thing? I'm slightly confused. Or maybe because it is a British destroyer that's been redone into a Greek destroyer, that's the reason we don't have prop mod. Anyways, we then go into concealment mod and finally the main battery mod 3. As far as consumables go, we have the damage control party. Then we have the smoke generator. The smoke generator is very few charges of it, but it is a decent duration, 20-second duration, 93-second dispersion time, and then a 228-second reload, and you get 2 charges of it. Then you have the option between an engine boost, a 5% engine boost with a 90-second duration, or defensive AA. I've sided with the engine boost, though, given it's only 5%. I could totally see if you want to go over to the defensive AA. Then the coup de grace, the reason you play these ships, the radar. 8-kilometer radar, 10-second duration, reload time of 85 seconds, and you get 3 charges of it. Now, you may say, Tommy, that's a very short amount of time to use the radar, but don't worry. We have a commander for that reason. Jerzy Swirsky, one of the OG commanders who once was a pay-to-win commander. Now he is free to all, and with his recent buff last patch is essential to these high-tier pan-European destroyers, though it does highlight once again the need for individualized builds or individualized commander builds for each ship. So we are running Mordiff and Sims. If you don't have Mordiff, you can run I would say like Du Fournet. He's going to buff the HE damage of your shells by about the amount we're getting in our reload here. Of course, Du Fournet, of course, this pan-European line can only fire HE shells, so you're going to get a universal buff around the same amount. Then we're running Sims for extra HP. Cool. Base trait is Hide and Seek, which is going to help with sea detectability range. Then we are running a full gunboat build with observant range, mortar, reaching out, and then Swirsky's recently added unique skill, the Fox Flare. Main battery reload time while the radar is active is reduced by 8.5%, but more importantly, the radar duration matches your smoke generator action time if the latter is longer, which means you can use that you can use the radar for 30 seconds. Now, there is a bit of a weird, I'm gonna call it a bug going on. I submitted it in and I haven't been told it's not a bug, so there is a bit of a bug where if you get hit, I think, and you end up using like your reload or your legendary skill procs, there's something that goes on where this effect may get canceled out in the middle of using it. I do think the devs are currently looking into it, but right now it is an incredibly strong package. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the ship. Overall, we have 23,500 health, helped, of course, by Sims, and an armor of between 6 and 20 millimeters. It's a destroyer, so I don't need to get into the armor view for you guys there. As far as artillery goes, we have 6 one-barreled 140 millimeter guns with firing range of 11.6 kilometers, reload time of 3 seconds. HE chance, or HE damage, 2,260 with a 10% chance to set fire. You will notice on the front of the ship here, we do have these like 2 dual guns, and there is a certain angle that what you can be traveling forward and at a certain like tack in order to get all of the guns on target. So you of course will always be able to get the middle one, and then the rest of the guns that are along the length of the ship are mounted center line, so they can swing either side. But because you have these two dual ones, if you're at like this 90-degree angle, of course that port side gun can't fire over starboard. But if you get to about, it's not quite 45 degrees, both of those guns are able to fire, and you're able to get all of those shells on target, making you just that more aggressive with this vessel. Torpedoes, they are pretty decent torpedoes. 2 4-barreled 533 millimeter launchers, 75-second reload time, maximum damage 10,700. So they are a bit light in the DPM department, but they are still very useful. Torpedo range is 9 kilometers, and they have a top speed of 80 knots. AA, and this is kind of the reason why I don't go for the AA here. It's not very effective overall. You're looking at like a 33 AA rating. None of those numbers are particularly impressive, so I wouldn't be so sure about building into AA on Katsonis. Then maneuverability, pretty fast ship overall, 43.3 knots base, 4-second rudder shift time, 720 meter turning circle. Finally, we get into concealment. We're looking at 6.1 by sea, 3.3 by air, and 2.9 when firing in smoke. Of course, we'll talk about this in the game, but with this ship, concealment isn't quite anything. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and dive on into that game. So here we are on Mountain Pass, and I do have a bit of a thing to admit. It took me longer than I expected to be able to get a game that I want to show to y'all in Katsonis. And that's not because we weren't winning. It's because I think what Katsonis and I think Split do really well is they facilitate the steamrolls that are very common up in the higher tiers. And the main reason for that is their opening move, the opening play for these destroyers pretty much any time, is to charge the cap and kill the other destroyer. And when you wipe out the enemy destroyer this early in the game, it facilitates, it allows for a steamroll to occur, right? If you're able to get in there and pretty much all the time, with near like 90, 95, 100% of the time, wipe out the enemy DD. You may go down as well, but take out the enemy DD. That is a massive swing, especially in these games that don't have all 3 destroyers, right? One of the most important parts of this game is spotting, which the destroyers need to do. And if you can eliminate one of the destroyers on the enemy team super early in the game, it is a massive, massive swing. And we're going to see this coming up right here. We're going to pull on out, and hello, Lucian. We're going to be able to outspot him. We pop our radar just because he's probably going to pop smoke fairly shortly since we are within range of his sonar. He does that. We pop our smoke, and you can see we are just able to melt him. We do take a little bit longer than I would have liked to finish him off here, but you know, was it one more salvo? No, oh, come on, he's healing back. There we go. Now he's down. We're down half health, but we have now eliminated their destroyer 2.5 minutes in, which is massive, absolutely massive. And it's times like this where now this whole flank becomes a lot easier for our battleships, for our cruisers to play, because they don't have to worry about being spotted, right? Or they don't have to be worried about being spotted while they aren't spotting whatever is spotting them back. And that is the power of these new pan-European destroyers. And I think they're incredibly strong for that reason. They provide a huge boost to your team when played correctly, which, you know, that's exactly kind of what you want out of a ship. And it is just really nice to see, for a change, I guess, that this ship that is really, really powerful. Like, I don't think I'm stating just how powerful these vessels can be. is a tech tree ship, right? It's not a premium. It's not locked behind a campaign. It's not locked behind a ton of money. It is just straight out a tech tree ship, and is wonderfully, wonderfully powerful. Now, the weaknesses you have to give up for it of not having AP, it can hurt, but we're still doing decent damage over time with the HE. We're still having torpedoes that are pretty effective, as you see, as we start to hit the Delaware here. We're still kind of working on taking the sea cap, and while we're doing this, I'm just trying to back off and use this island as sort of a fence, a wall between myself and the Delaware. I know he's probably going to want to look at us, and given that we don't have a full amount of health still in, you can see we're kind of adjusting so we get all of those guns on target like we can as we pick up 2 hits with the torpedoes. As he starts looking at us, we're able to kind of hide back behind this island once again. And now that we've gotten C, we kind of have a decision to make, right? We are the only one who's gotten a kill so far. Everyone else is still up. Delaware is definitely limping with his permafires that he is now suffering with, and well, 2 more teammates go down. But we could either A, choose to kind of fight the Delaware and the Flounder, which probably wouldn't be the best, or we can go into B. And the reason we're deciding to go into B right now and kind of desert the side that we've been on is, if you look, our other friendly destroyer kind of is committed to A. And we want to get the points rolling for our team. The one battleship within the B area is a Jean Bart, which, hey, guess what? Jean Bart does tend to enjoy being lit on fire. It does have a lower fire resistance coefficient compared to a lot of other ships at the same tier, which means if we can go ahead and use this little island on B, we will be able to fire at him and be able to maybe get some decent damage on him while we take B and really get the points rolling in for our team. As far as ships goes, we're still tied up, though we do still have the very important 2 destroyers on our team. And I was kind of hoping Delaware would go down, but sadly he's being left with just a little bit of health, but we'll kind of have to deal with him later, because now we have this opportunity to start doing damage to Jean Bart while also taking the cap. And we drop spot on him. I'm like, ooh, do we need to know? We just kind of need to look at where he is and start kind of aiming shells in that area. And as you can see, we're blind firing. We're getting some decent hits here. He is wibbling and he is wobbling. He is trying to maneuver, which, you know, fair play to him. We just need to continue to maneuver and not back out of the cap, because, you know, we want to take B. We are also taking A, which is nice for our team, where this game is finally starting to move in our direction, but it's at least somewhat close and and a little bit of fun to watch. Like I said earlier, a lot of the games I play in Katsonis, it just feels like you get steamrolls incredibly early. I don't know if it's just because it's update week when I was playing these, or if it's just because, well, you know, these ships, they do a very good job at killing those other destroyers. Anyway, Jean Bart goes down there. We take B. We now have all the caps, and, well, we're still down on ships. We are not out of the woods quite yet, so we are going to have to now engage these battleships that are over on our side of the map, and defend our holdings so that we can hopefully win, because right now nothing is guaranteed. And you can see I'm like, okay, which way do I want to push? Because that ship near us is a Flander, whatever we want to call it. And of course, he's going to have his secondaries. We already saw them kind of earlier. We know he's a secondary build Flander, so we do want to keep somewhat of a distance from him. We don't want to like pop out and just be like, hey, here we are, well within our detection radius. We are going to need to give him a bit of a wide berth. We go ahead and hit our engine boost, and we're just going to try to kind of put ourselves mid so that we can be reactionary to whichever way these battleships come in. Of course, we do have now a massive points advantage. We have the cap advantage, so these ships do need to push into us, and we can see Delaware is doing that now. So as Delaware does that, we are going to go try to use this island off our bow for cover, get in nice and close so that Flanders secondaries don't do much damage to us, if any. And we're going to try to start hitting the flight deck of the Delaware, or right in that area, because that's where he should have the weakest armor that our HE should be able to get some pens on. You can see we're starting to take Flanders secondary fire as the battleship that was closest to us did go down, but Delaware incredibly close to going down. We just need a couple more hits on him, or a fire to proc, and we should be able to get him to take down. I'm just waiting for his next salvo to come in, and are we able to? There's a fire. That's exactly what we needed, and down he goes. Excellent. Well, now it's 4v3, and I have two secondary focus battleships near me, a Tirpitz and a Flanders, and we need to reposition and get out of here because there's nothing really stopping them from pushing me, and I definitely do not want that because I want to try and hold out and win this game the best I can. So we're gonna go ahead, turn tail, get some distance because this island is providing visual cover for them to push up and into us, and that's exactly what Flanders was doing. We're gonna go ahead, drop torpedoes on the indicator, drop our smoke. He of course just fired, so he's gonna have his smoke fire penalty while we run away. We're gonna be able to do some damage to him. I realized we've been sending the torps in widespread. The spread on these torps, even in widespread, is fairly narrow. It's kind of the theme with the Pan-Asian ships, and you can absolutely use that to your advantage. Now, there is something I'm doing right here, which I feel like I just forget. I'm so used to using the radar with the smoke that I forget that I have extra radar charges that I can just throw out. So Flanders gonna drop spot here, and I'm like, oh man, we're missing out on DPM. I wish I could still see him, and like it doesn't click in my head that Tommy, you have a radar. He of course is looking at us because he knows we don't have much health, but right now would have been when I wanted to use that radar, and we just kind of forgot about it, and then it clicks in my mind like, oh yeah, radar. Let's get a couple more rounds into Flanders here, and see if we can get the damage rolling. Of course, that superstructure is the only thing we're really able to farm effectively for it, and we do a beautiful dodge on his salvo right there, which probably saves us for the end. But Flanders goes behind the island there, and we're able to take him down with the damage over time on that fire, but we don't escape unhurt with that final engine disable, and now it's down to the Tirpitz. But sad news, we are not going to end up finishing off this Tirpitz. We're gonna try to do as much damage as we can, but it's not going to be enough. As you can see, we are quickly approaching the maximum damage, or the maximum points for the round. But overall, Katsonis, the new Tier 8 Pan-European. I really enjoy this ship. I think it's a great new playstyle in the game. I think it's definitely a good ship that you are probably going to want to enjoy if you are a big destroyer gunboat sort of person. My only reservation on it, or my only problem right now, is we don't have the legendary. Of course, it should be coming. I think somewhere on Reddit it popped up. The community devs kind of replied saying it will be in the next update, the legendary tier ship for this line. Though I kind of think they should have had it in this one, finish out the line instantly. But hey, I guess they get three media beats out of a new ship line as opposed to just two. But anyways, guys, that is the Katsonis. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like videos like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.